Welcome to GOLT Talk, your podcast for technology and innovation in the legal profession. If you're searching for solutions to revolutionize your legal practice, you're in the right place. 10 minutes pure, actionable product insights from CEOs shaping the future of legal technology. And here is your host, Tom Pfennig.
Hi everybody, welcome to GOLT Talk, your podcast for innovation and technology in the legal and compliance space. My name is Tom Pfennig, I'm your host today, and I warmly welcome Ragav Jagannathan, the CEO of KLST, based in the greater New York City area. Welcome, Ragav.
Thanks for having me, Tom. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you for your time. You know, it's a compact format. We have about 6 questions and try to stay under 10 minutes. So let's get going. We had a great chat before this recording. Tell us a little bit about yourself and then go right into the unique selling point and the use cases for your technology, please.
Sure. My name is Ragav Jagannathan. I've been in legal industry for just over a couple of decades. I've been primarily a vendor, basically a service provider for law firms for those couple of decades, so 20 years or so. My journey with law firms started primarily with SharePoint technology. So I've been working with a technology called Microsoft SharePoint for almost 23 years. And we saw tremendous growth of SharePoint over the last 2 decades with law firms, especially with AmLaw 100 firms. And we've been a primary vendor for a lot of the AmLaw 100, almost 26 of the AmLaw 100 firms trust KLST for their SharePoint services work. That's how my journey started, and that's where we're continuing on right now in terms of being the trusted vendor. It's also, as part of my job, I also need a software company where we create a couple of products that is powered by generative AI. So we have a product called KLapper that lets you build virtual agents that can do stuff on behalf of the attorney, falling in the agentic AI workflow using the power of generative AI tech, as well as we have a couple of other products called imDocShare and netDocShare for integrating iManage NetDocuments content into the Microsoft 365 ecosystem.
So these are the 3 products, if I may say so, that we are going to talk about on today's podcast. And let's start with iManage and netDocShare. So these were the 2 products that KLST almost started with, to say it this way. And maybe we talk a little bit about these 2 products and the target groups, particularly, I understand, the law firms that you're serving with them.
Correct. Our journey started with netDocShare, for example, almost way back in 2018, where a very large law firm approached us asking for integration, basically surfacing NetDocuments content in SharePoint, and right up our alley. So netDocShare was born around then, where we partnered very closely with NetDocuments to create an integration where law firms could surface NetDocuments content within SharePoint. So without the need to copy or sync or any of that, it's a live view, live edit, live add of NetDocuments content in SharePoint. So our journey continued on with that into iManage DMS in 2020, and we created imDocShare. Exact same thing, but iManage Work Server and cloud customers can surface their content in SharePoint. And since then, we've extended our integrations into Microsoft Teams, OneDrive, network shares, and with generative AI integration, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Awesome. And you integrate these products into the largest law firms in the world.
Absolutely, yeah. We are trusted by over 26 law firms.
Awesome. And in terms of corporates, what's the experience there?
So we are trusted by around 10 corporate legal departments of Fortune 100 companies today. So we are excited there and the growth that we are seeing there. So super excited for what's coming for corporate legal and imDocShare, netDocShare.
You're also expanding beyond the United States and Canada into Europe and maybe even Germany at some point.
Correct. Yeah. So we have, in fact, we are currently talking to one of the largest German banks. We are working already with some public sector institutions in the European region. We have multiple clients in the UK as well. So yeah, we have a very ambitious goal of expanding beyond North America. We currently have clients already in the EMEA region, in APAC region, as well as in Asia and Middle East region. So we are expanding as we speak.
Awesome. Let's talk about KLapper. So this is the private AI layer on top of NetDocuments, for example. So give us a few use cases that you've been seeing in your client base.
Sure. So KLapper is a private AI, secure AI, ethical AI platform. It's really designed for law firms who are not looking to work with a hosted generative AI platform. So KLapper is hosted by the law firm on their private Azure tenant. KLapper is a private platform, which means that anything that you feed the KLapper, including the netDocuments content that we have a connector for, which I'll talk about in a second, KLapper can learn the data and securely save all that information within the firm's Azure tenant, which means that the firm has the ability now to potentially train KLapper and its agents with both client data as well as other firm data to basically extract that and surface that intelligence. KLapper agents can also connect to netDocuments and iManage using a connector. So we have unique connectors piggybacking on our imDocShare, netDocShare product experience. So you don't have to download content from netDocuments and download content from iManage and upload it into KLapper. KLapper simply connect.
And very pragmatically for the viewers here, Ragav, what does KLapper do for me in the real world environment?
Sure, yeah. So KLapper is an agent builder platform. So you basically build an agent. So a knowledge management team would take a platform like KLapper and create, without involvement or limited involvement from IT, create an agent that is trained with data that lawyers will care about. For example, if a specific agent I'm designing for my litigation practice, that agent could be literally trained on one or many different workspaces that lives in iManage relevant to that specific practice, which means and that agent can be surfaced in Teams. So, and because it's all security sensitive, an attorney can come in and basically interact with it as my own artificial lawyer. And the agent, because it's trained on data that lives in my document management system, lives in my time and billing platform like 3E or any other SQL data, it not only knows about the documents, it also knows about my time and billing data. So I can ask it intelligent questions about my matter or other matters that might have worked on in the past.
And when you say it's being trained, it's not really just fine-tuned like the foundational models. It is really soaking in the data of your client and is learning from it, and it's becoming better and better as it is being exposed to this information.
Correct, yeah. So KLapper agents, when I say trained, it's basically read the document top to bottom. It's read the metadata on the document. It's read the profile of the document as it exists in netDocuments, iManage, or SharePoint with the metadata. It's also read the permissions on the document, meaning that if you can't access in netDocs or iManage or SharePoint, you cannot access in KLapper that same information. And so it's truly the intelligence that's saved in these data sources. And by the way, it's not just a document system. KLapper can also learn time and billing data, as I said, from your time and billing platforms, your SQL servers and whatnot. Or it can also learn from other applications because KLapper has many different connectors that it can seamlessly connect to modern apps, its data sources.
That brings us to partners and competitors. We've already mentioned a number of names. iManage, netDocuments, you're a Microsoft GOLT partner, SQL, SharePoint, part of the Microsoft environment, but you also mentioned ServiceNow, a big enterprise architecture. So these, I take it, are big partners, or anyone missed in that portfolio?
Yeah, so any name a legal KM platform that a law firm uses. So I'm talking about a mid-sized firm or a large AM law firm. So we have specific connectors for the different vendors that you named right now. We also have a generic connector model where you can connect, for example, to a homegrown application or a custom application or a third-party application that supports what is called a microservices architecture, a unique service-oriented architecture, which almost every modern app does. So KLapper with its web connector can connect to any application that is a third-party application from a vendor or homegrown, and it can learn the data within that, all securely within the private tenant of the firm.
Okay, competitors, Ragav?
Frankly, I have not seen a product that compares to the way our vision and the model. If I was to name a competitor that we have currently, we do often come across the Harveys and the co-counsels of the world. Recently, there's been obviously, but these are all hosted generative AI platforms. They're not a private AI platform. So we've really not seen a lot of competitors that can do what KLapper does in a private setting with its connectors into all these applications. There's a couple out there. Some of them are building an index on these applications and they're surfacing the data. So KLapper doesn't do any of that because typically with generative AI, it's still garbage in, garbage out. So if you're training KLapper on petabytes of data, you can get very, the hallucination could be extreme.
Yeah, when you enter the European Union, you will come across a few private AI competitors. Just for the audience, we know of Noxtua and Libra, for example. But again, the proof is in the pudding and the devil in the detail. I really think the differentiator here, it's an on-prem layer that is not getting data up into a cloud, and it's your own, if you will, a system that you're deploying.
Correct. Yeah. So the KLapper becomes part of the firm's knowledge systems. So it's very important to understand that we are not hosting. In fact, the KLapper does not have a hosted cloud. You don't upload anything into a cloud. You don't log into KLapper in a separate cloud. KLapper is part of the knowledge system of the firm itself. So that's made a key differentiator. That's why I said I've not seen a software as unique as us yet, but obviously this is a very emerging space right now.
Yeah. Very good. Now, looking into pricing as well as implementation time. Let's start with the latter. For the iManage netDocShare part, what would you guesstimate is an implementation effort? And for the KLapper, probably faster, but give us a couple of details here, please.
Yeah, so imDocShare and netDocShare are products that are known to keep, by kind of the deployment time frame for these products are incredibly fast. For example, if you want to integrate SharePoint and iManage, our imDocShare SharePoint app can deploy within 5 minutes. It's literally that quick, right? There are advanced integrations into Teams and OneDrive, synchronization tools that can take a couple of days from an implementation deployment perspective. From a pricing perspective, we are competitively priced, so our audience for imDocShare, netDocShare is both small, mid-sized firms and AM law firms. So the pricing can vary anywhere from, we have different pricing models, so giving a number is a little bit, may not be accurate, but let's say we have an enterprise license model that can start at $35,000. We have a different pricing model for AM law firms that is priced per user per month, starting at around $6 per user per month. So it really depends on the add-ons and so on. That applies to both imDocShare and netDocShare. For KLapper, our pricing model really differentiates us because we are the number one, in fact, we are the only private AI vendor for law firms, but we also have an incredible cost-effective pricing model starting at just $10 US per user per month. I believe that we are possibly the most cost-effective private AI or just AI solution in the market.
And when you say $10 per user, is there any component that also counts the number of documents uploaded into?
No, there is an Azure cost because KLapper becomes part of the firm's knowledge systems that is hosted on Azure. So there is an Azure consumption cost that we've seen with our customers, but is nowhere even comparable to some of the per user per month cost of our competitors that typically ranges from $75 to $130 per user per month. So KLapper is really, with our nearest competitors, probably 1/7 to 1/10 of the cost. Even compared to Copilot, we are 1/3 of the cost. In fact, we actually integrate with Copilot. A lot of people ask us, what about Microsoft Copilot? Do you guys compete with it? KLapper is a private AI platform. It connects to your internal applications and it can surface the knowledge in Copilot. In fact, Copilot cannot connect to netDocs, iManage. It's limited connectivity to SharePoint as some connectors. But with KLapper, you have advanced connectors into all these applications and you can deploy a KLapper agent in Copilot. So now your Copilot is not only learning your emails, predicting what events are coming up, but it is also using KLapper's power to surface intelligence from your knowledge applications.
And you could even use it for contract drafting, you told me before.
Absolutely, yeah. So KLapper agent, that's where KLapper is a truly unique platform because the agents can be used within Microsoft Word, can be used within Microsoft PowerPoint, can be used literally as a chatbot on your iPhone. We have a KLapper app for iPhone and Android phone users. It can be used as a Windows app. The idea behind KLapper is to kind of train, build an agent, and then use it anywhere where work happens.
Awesome. And implementation time for KLapper?
KLapper deploys, the whole deployment model for KLapper is completely automated. So to get a client set up, assuming that they have all the prerequisites checked for the private solution deployment, KLapper can deploy literally within 60 minutes or less because it's completely automated. KLapper updates are sent over the air to customers who want to receive automatic updates from KLapper based on new versions that we might release. But yeah, you're looking at a day or max 2 days of configuration deployment and then maybe a week of training to make sure that we are training the agent builders on our platform to create these agents and give it all these capabilities.
And that applies both to small law firms as well as M100 ones. And very large corporations?
Yeah, the deployment timeframes obviously depends on the band-aids and the security band-aids. That the bigger the firm, the more strict it is for deploying applications inside the firm. So that's where delays can happen in terms of getting the right approvals. But once we have the infrastructure in place, which is purely on Azure of the cloud of the firm, the deployment literally takes less than 60 minutes.
Awesome. We spent a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but we essentially introduced 3 products of KLST, which I found very informative and extremely interesting. Thank you, Ragav Jagannathan, CEO of KLST in the greater New York City region. Wishing you all the best, and thank you for your time today. See you.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. Thank you.